Boy, what a week it's been. Why? Well, because last week, if you remember, I let the world know that this YouTube channel is a flop. Yes, I admitted it, and I'm okay with that. Actually, it's been pretty great since I admitted that. You know, the truth has set me free in a way. But in that video where I was talking about how this YouTube channel is a flop, I asked for your help because I'm trying to reach a bigger audience. I want to deliver content that matters to you. And so, to my amazement, you all came through exceptionally well. And I got tons of comments, at least for me. I mean, this video and this channel doesn't get a lot of traffic anyway, but relatively speaking, I got a ton of comments to that video and a lot of great feedback, a lot of great comments, ideas, strategies. One person left a comment that was literally, it looked like about 3 or 4 pages long if you were to put it into a Word document. I didn't know YouTube would allow you to create a comment that big, but it did. And so regardless, I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've compiled as a result of looking at all these comments to share with you what I am going to kind of think about changing moving forward with my YouTube channel. And perhaps maybe this is going to be useful to you, or perhaps you're just curious as to what I'm going to do in reaction to these comments and these ideas that were given to me. So this is pretty much totally unscripted. I've got a few notes here, and I want to share with you 10 things that I learned that I hope will improve this YouTube channel and that I hope you'll find useful as well in your own endeavors if you want. So the first one is that I need to be more consistent. And it's like, duh, right? I know that. I know I need to be more consistent. Someone mentioned that I should be happy with the number of viewers I get to my videos based on the fact that I haven't posted for almost a year or something like that. And that's so true. You know, if you look at my analytics, if I go back, I think they started back in 2009. I've been on YouTube since 2006. I really missed the boat a lot of times on that one. But regardless, if you go back to the analytics, there are moments where I started posting regularly and I saw an uptick in the amount of viewers that I got and subscribers. Then I would wait and they would die down and I would post some more and the uptick would happen again. And I've been doing this for years and it's really not a great idea. And so I need to be more consistent regularly, either weekly, bi-weekly, but I think I can really post easily weekly, depending on the type of videos that I create, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Weekly, maybe 2, 3, maybe even 5 videos a week. Wouldn't that be amazing? Another aspect to this consistency issue that I know about and that was expressed to me is that I post videos of all kinds of different styles. And what you need to understand about who I am and what I do is that I like to try different things. And I'm the world's biggest perfectionist. And I shouldn't be, because I help and teach other people not to be a perfectionist because it slows you down. And I'm my own living example. I need to practice what I preach because what I do is I try this different style thinking, are people going to like this? Well, maybe it's not going to be applicable to this type of video. And so I change it. So I say, okay, maybe I need to be on camera to make a connection. Well, maybe no, I don't need to be on camera. Maybe I just need to do more graphics. And so I tinker constantly all the time. And that's what you've seen in my videos, in my channel over the years. Different ways, different styles. And people don't like that. They like a specific style. They want to subscribe to somebody that's consistent and that they can rely on to deliver the kind of content that they like. And if I'm switching it up all the time, that's really not going to be the case. So consistency is number 1. Number 2, and I love this one, what I learned and what I need to improve is that my background is too bedroomy. Okay, and let's be honest, it kind of is a bedroom, although it's a bedroom turned into a home office. And I lead a very simple life. And that's why this is my office. I don't need a big space. I don't want a big space. I don't want a lot to manage. I want something very simple, and that's what this is. And so I've turned it into my home office / studio / TV watching room / sitting area, you name it. It's a whole bunch of everything. Now, is that going to change? No, not really. Not unless I move. But here's the deal with this, and what I believe and what I feel is that this is part of who Derek is. This is my space, and I'm inviting you into my space when I create a video like this. And that's kind of personal, and that's very human of me to do. And I could put up a green screen and do something fancy, put some kind of wild background in my behind the video to make it more appealing maybe, but that's just not my style. I want you to feel like we're talking as friends, and this is my space. And so I'm inviting you here. Not only that, but I've seen people spend a lot of time and money on their studio, so to speak, and their channel flops regardless. Then again, I've seen other people who record videos with the stairs behind their back. They're in the basement recording their video, and you can see the stairs right leading up to the top of the house behind them. And so why? And they get hundreds of thousands of views. How is that possible? Well, it's because I don't think people really care this day and age. There used to be a time where they did, but we're all home creators, or many of us are home creators, and it's just part of being human and what we are and making that connection. So that's not going to change too much, but I thought it was an interesting observation nonetheless. Now, number 3, what did I learn? I learned that my thumbnails stink. Do your thumbnails stink? Mine did. All right? Like a garbage dump. Why? Because someone highlighted that they weren't clickbaity enough. And in case you don't know what clickbaity is, you probably do. Most people do, and it irritates them. But, I wasn't really creating thumbnails with the crazy faces or the wild activity on the thumbnail itself. Again, that's not my style. That's not who I am. That's not the kind of the message that I want to convey. It's okay for other people, just not for me. But that's not to say that there isn't room for making my thumbnails more clickbaity. What am I going to do? Maybe more color, maybe more text that looks like it's moving, maybe more pictures of people. I've been putting images of my life maps behind the text on my thumbnails, and that's just not working. It's just not interesting. It's boring. Nobody wants it. So that's going to change. We'll see how it's going to change. Another thing, and this is a general observation, is I need to go for the dopamine hit. So someone highlighted that if you look at most YouTube videos and the thumbnails, the titles, the content itself, what are people doing? They're going for the dopamine hit. They want people to have some kind of emotional experience with viewing their videos. And I really haven't been doing that a whole lot. And I know that that's a big part of it. I've just got to figure out how to do it in a way that's graceful. Again, I'm not one of these guys that are going to be crazy. I like having a good time. I like enjoying myself, and I like having some laughs. But I'm not going to be the kind of guy that is doing wild, crazy things just to get video views. It's just not going to happen. But I think there's a way to find a balance between going for that dopamine hit, if you will, and doing it in a civilized way. Okay, so that's another thing that I've learned. So if you're creating content and click thumbnails and titles, you want to do something that's going to spark some emotion into your reader, actually your viewer. And make sure that your content is really doing something on an emotional level. That's very important. Number 5 is that I need to incorporate more humor. And this is kind of strange for me because the reality is I can be kind of a funny guy in real life. And even when I'm presenting in person to others, that part of my personality comes through, and I love being funny, and I can be a little bit lighthearted. The challenge that I've been running into, especially here on YouTube, is the fact that I've been scripting a lot of my content. Why? I'm not really sure. And part of it, actually, I do know, is because when you're creating graphics and specific graphics, you want your words to match up what those graphics are saying and in the order that they're saying it. And it's really easy to go off the rails whenever you're just talking freestyle like I am right now. And that really gets in the way of creating graphics and life maps like I create. And so I felt like, okay, I'm going to do some scripting. I'm just going to script things out and make it easy for me. But you know what? So much of your personality and who you are, your humor, the things that you can find funny or lighthearted, that gets lost whenever you script. And I really don't need to script. As I mentioned, I'm going off some bullet points here. I can talk freestyle all day long if I need to. That's not a problem. And moving forward, that's really kind of what I'm going to do. So I would suggest if you're dealing with the same issue, add some humor, add some personality. That's who you are. That's what people want to see. And I'm learning that more and more. Again, another biggie is that my titles to my YouTube videos need a little bit more oomph. And again, this is so surprising to me. I don't know why I have a blockage here with YouTube, because I've been writing copy for my own content, my own websites, my own products, my own courses for 20 plus years. I know how to write copy. I know how to capture people's attention and get them, pull them in to want to learn more. I've just not been using it here on YouTube that much. Why? I'm not exactly sure. There's just a block there, but I realize that my titles need some more oomph. They need to add curiosity. They need to be more appealing to people so that when they see them, they're like, wow, what's that all about? I've got to learn that. I haven't been doing that, but that's going to change. Number 7 is that nobody wants my printed life maps. And this was kind of a surprise to me. At least this is what I've learned, what I think is true, because I asked if anybody wanted any, and I really didn't get much of a response. So what am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about the fact that I spend a lot of time creating graphics for a lot of my videos. Here's an idea of a life map, okay? So this is simply a sheet of information that teaches an idea. For this particular life map, it's how to do a daily review, okay? And I spend a lot of time creating these sheets of information, these graphics, to go along with the explanation in the video. And I do this because I think, okay, people want to have something that they can reference after the video's been watched. And it's real important for me that when I teach something, that people just don't hear it, go in one ear and out the other, they forget about it and go about their day. I want people to use what I'm teaching them. And I felt like a life map, some kind of graphic resource that they could use, would be helpful to them, even on YouTube. Now, of course, when you're talking about creating a course, that's true. That's very true. People do want those reference tools. On YouTube, I found that not so much. And so this is really a little bit heart-wrenching, because I've spent a lot of time building up a backlog, as I mentioned in my previous video, of these kind of life maps that I was going to discuss in videos coming up. And I've got dozens and dozens of them. But I think it's time to shelve those if nobody wants that. And that's not the style of content, and people aren't finding it useful, because it takes a lot of time and effort, and that causes problems with speed, which we'll talk about here in just a second. Number 8 is I need to stop whining. Yeah, I get it, all right? And why do I need to stop whining? Well, because it's just not very becoming, for one. Second of all, as someone highlighted, is when you don't post for a year, getting 50 views or 100 views to your videos is pretty good, all right? So stop complaining. And I get it. I get it. That's true. I am going to stop whining. I'm not going to create a bunch of videos like this, asking for help and continuing to play this out. I just wanted to figure out what was going on, how I could solve it. So I am going to stop whining, stop complaining, and just get to work and changing it. Number 9, and I don't know how I'm going to fix this one, but someone said that I needed to change my voice, make it deeper. You know, maybe I need to have a radio voice. I don't know. You know, I guess I could if I tried, but actually I've heard a lot of people tell me that they find my voice calming, and that's kind of what I want. I don't need to have a radio voice, so to speak. Doesn't need to be deeper, unless maybe you think it does. Maybe it doesn't fit my face. Maybe it doesn't sound comforting, doesn't sound relaxing. It's too annoying. I don't know. Let me know in the comments whatever you think about my voice. That way I can make some changes if I need to. Although I don't know what I can do. If you have any suggestions there, of course, let me know. And number 10 is I need to have more personality and liveliness in my videos. And again, this isn't a big issue for me, generally speaking, just on YouTube for some reason. And I think it goes back to just the style of content that I've been creating with the life maps. And instead of really coming across as a person, as a human being like I am right now, hopefully that's what I'm doing. But at the same time, a lot of my content has been very instructory, so to speak. You know, people are feeling like when they come here, they're listening to somebody teach them like they did in school or in college. And that's not what I want. I mean, the information I have to share is kind of not as exciting as slow motion videos or time-lapse videos or blowing stuff up or cutting it in half. That's not my deal. But There are ways that I can include some of my personality, make it more lively and less instructory so that you don't feel like you're sitting in front of a teacher and trying to get some information. That's not what I want. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do that. And maybe just doing this a little bit more is going to be a big part of that. So with that being said, those are the 10 things that I've learned that I want to improve. So what kind of changes moving forward do I plan on making so that this channel is no longer a flop? Well, there are a lot of things I can do, as you know, as we talked about in these 10 different points. But one thing I do want to highlight, and this is kind of a mission statement or a big part or the foundation behind what I'm trying to do here. And that is that I have thousands of ideas, thousands that I've captured over the years that are very, very amazing ideas. Sometimes I've not seen them in other places. And if I have, I didn't think they were explained very well. Sometimes they were. But regardless, I have a lot of different content that I want to share with you. And the challenge is if I get too fancy with these videos, and I put too much production time into them, then I'm only going to be able to crank out 1 or 2 a week. This isn't the only thing that I do with my life. I've got other things that I need to do, but I want this to be a big part of my business. And so I have to find a way to crank out a lot of videos that are good quality, but not overly produced. I can't overly produce stuff. And I'm not hiring anybody. I would like to run a one-man business because I like simplicity in my life, and I want simplicity. And so with that idea of wanting to crank out a lot of ideas, I have to keep things simple. How can I do that? Well, I'm thinking that one of the ways that I can do this is just by doing what I'm doing right here. Is just having a conversation with the camera. Of course, not as lengthy and as long or about this particular topic. But I think that I can take a lot of those ideas that I know and that I've gathered over the years, and I can condense them down to maybe a 2, 3, 4-minute video where I'm talking like this to you, looking at you eye to eye, or a camera lens to eye to camera lens, or to eye. I'm not exactly sure. But I can do that. And then slip in an occasional graphic where I need to explain how something works visually, but generally just communicating ideas like we're sitting across the table as friends. I can do that a lot. And so that's one particular area that I'm thinking about going. Of course, the other way is if you all like, and you can share in the comments below, I can do more graphic intensive videos if that's what you like. I want to appeal to the audience. Again, that will slow down my ability to create more content because each of those highly graphic or intensely graphic, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. But regardless, when there are a lot of graphics, that's kind of hard to create those quickly. And I want to create something fast and I get these ideas out there fast. So which way do you like? Something more like this? Something like the style I've been presenting already in the past 10 videos or something, or maybe a hybrid between the two. Another thing that's not on here that I just want to mention quickly is that I've thought about just wiping clean everything that's on my channel currently and just starting from scratch. Why would you do that? Well, it's because whenever somebody comes to my channel right now and they go to the backlog of videos, they think, what is this jumbled up mess? The styles are all over the place. The thumbnails are all over the place. And there's no consistency. And I think people like the comfort of having something consistent like that, as I talked in point number 1. They want consistency. And they will subscribe or watch a TV show that is always produced the same way every week with just a little bit different humor or different content. And so when you look at my channel, though, it's all over the place. So maybe deleting everything and starting from scratch is the best way to go. Will that hurt? Yeah, that'll hurt. Will it be beneficial? Possibly. I'm considering it. So if you have any thoughts on that, again, leave it in the comments. Hopefully we can get a lot of good comments and feedback. I'm not going to do another follow-up video to this one. Again, I'm ready to start creating content, just so you know, that is very useful and based on the theme of this channel, which is mindsets, habits, behavior change, personal development, things like that. So that's the end of it. I hope that this has been interesting or at least helpful to you. And if you have any feedback about what we've talked about here, please let me know. And again, I really, really appreciate all the time, energy, and effort that went into helping me out and putting in the comments from the last video And this is all for you. I want to deliver content for you. So thank you very much. And I hope you have an absolutely amazing day.